The Serpents Garden. How gossip, prejudice, and judgment ruined the garden, and this I dedicate to Eve, who tries so hard to teach me of her purity. Paradise, or so this poet sees, was how his love might be received, how we could share and to each show care, though now I might have been deceived. For in the garden of happiness and joy, gossip and prejudice arrived unannounced. Together with judgment pronounced, we have a new concept. We call this sin. We shall determine who is out and who is in. The garden, I gather, was so full of serpents and trees, with wonderful bright flowers that swayed in a breeze, offering both nectar, their scent, and their fruit. The wind blew through the trees, sounding like a lute. There was one special serpent, a beautiful black snake. She was the most wondrous creature the Creator could make. There was no hidden venom, just such beautiful skin, with a heart of love gold that was kept so close within. This snake was pursued by many who claimed intellect, by serpents who sought to take away her self-respect. Yet her love was for him, and he named her Eve, who desired spiritual love, not a heart on a sleeve. Through the undergrowth crept Charlie Cobra with stealth, who sought out our black snake, desiring of her wealth. Her riches were beauty, and elegantly displayed. When he struck with venom, he left her dismayed. Then gossip and prejudice started to shout, she's a whore, throw her out. She's evil, there's evil about. For the love of Eve I do grieve, for don't you think life is strange when they always blame Eve? Then a diamond-back rattler hid beneath crepe myrtle trees, hiding his past and pretending he could love Eve with ease, taking his pleasure from his skill to deceive, until his wife found out and told all about. Then gossip and prejudice started to roar. She's a slut, the garden's biggest whore. She is the thing that we labelled as sin. Throw her out, we don't want her in. For the love of Eve I do grieve, for don't you think life is strange when they always blame Eve? Eve took a walk and prayed that by God she would be led, then strayed to a part of the garden where his love was unsaid. From the murky waters of a swamp there came an old cotton head, trying to take Eve into her mouth to devour. This could be rape, but parts of the garden had become sour. Then gossip and prejudice started to scream, she's a prostitute. Can't you all see where she's been? She led him astray. She is at fault. Throw her out of the garden, then fasten the bolt. For the love of Eve I do grieve, for don't you think life is strange when they always blame Eve? The sadistic python knew where Eve could be found, waited for her sorrows, and pretended his love was unwound, slowly wrapping her in false kindness, her body to impound. Eve narrowly escaping suffocation as he slithered away, his reputation exposed, she lived for another day. Then gossip and prejudice started to shriek, she took advantage of him because he is weak. She is besotted by lust, which was a new word to some, though they were told this was a woman who was undone. Showing her nakedness became yet another sin, so they discovered a Satan and said he was within. She was to all that we labelled as sin. Throw her out, we don't want her in. For the love of Eve I do grieve, for don't you think life is strange when they always blame Eve? Eve rested in the grass, trying to seek peace in the sun, when the bright colours of coral snake left her world undone. Her attraction at first seemed that she would be enraptured, soon after discovered he would keep her captured. Every time she tried to escape, these words tormented, not questioning whether such words were serpent invented. Then gossip and prejudice started to shout. Along came cobra and rattler to join in and scream. Cottonhead and python let out their cry. Coral joined in with a shriek. All agreed she was weak. To keep her without, they found a cage and locked her within. For the love of Eve I do grieve. But don't you think life is strange when they always blame Eve? Then the black snake with the beautiful skin had a dream. She saw a white snake, and he proclaimed she could be a queen, for her heart was pure, and her search was for his love. Could his love be in the garden, or was love now above? White snake talked of his feeling, and love was found. Intentions in seeking should not go underground. They touched each other, and then felt touched by him. So Black Snake started to shout. Then she heard White Snake scream, "We've discovered his love. There was no dream. From this garden of corruption we must depart to build a better kingdom, and we are ready to start. No longer shall I grieve for the love of Eve. For all those of you that still try to deceive, seek out his true love, and then, I believe, you will never think again that you should blame Eve."